The sun sets. The sun, which wasn't even visible, sets and the dark sky gets even darker. I see. So Saber got taken away. That's the only response Archer gave. His master, Tosca Rin, simply stated the facts, but he states it even more matter-of-factly. That's all? There are 2 servants under Castor now. Don't you have anything else to say? I cannot think of a way to beat her at the moment, but we should consider it fortunate that we know her noble phantasm now. Break the contract between the servant and the master, huh? We should be able to do better if we know that ahead of time. That is true. But you sure sound uninterested, Archer. Weren't you supporting Saber? What gave you that idea? I don't think I ever showed interest in her. What makes you think so, Rin? Let's see, would woman's intuition be a good enough reason? Oh shit. Burn. Burn. You were not at the age to be called a woman. First of all, you do not have enough charm. And your chest is not big enough. You lack elegance as well. And most of all, yes, this is fatal. Your charm is hard to understand. You are still but a girl. A little girl. Huh, I see. You're finally back to par now. She smiles pleasantly. Archer has to be like this. An unemotional person isn't the partner Rin trusts. Her partner has to always be composed and has to speak cynically against anyone. Rin knows that is the kindness of this knight. Speaking cynically is like indirectly telling others to fix that part of them. I see. Then here's the first proof. You went easy on Saber the first time you met her. Even though Saber may be strong, I don't think you, the one good at defending, would be beaten in one blow. That was a surprise attack. I'm weak against unexpected things, like you are. Huh, shut up. So, here's the next proof. You provoked Saber after the incident with Ryder. That wasn't like you at all. I realized after I looked at it from a different angle. You were scolding Saber back then, right? Oh. Am I right? I thought so. I don't know if you knew her from your previous life, but it's rare for you to act so coldly. I don't know, he's usually pretty cold towards Shiro in particular. Really? I think I act that way towards everyone. Yeah, you actually kinda do. At least I think so. Bullshit. You're the only one who thinks so. I think you're really clumsy when it comes to anything that concerns you. Everyone's strict because you're not clumsy towards others. Archer frowns. He must not have been self-conscious of it. The knight in red ponders with a troubled expression, and his master looks at him in pleasure. And suddenly... So, do you remember which hero you are now? If you're related to Saber, you must be a hero from that age, right? She says so as if testing something. No, my past is still hazy. But I do remember Saber as you say. She doesn't seem to know me, so I guess we didn't have a deep connection. So I guess you two weren't friends or lovers. That's too bad. I would have found out Saber's true identity if that were the case. She doesn't sound disappointed. It's just an offhanded remark. Well, I'll remember eventually. Hey, you didn't remember in the Fate route. By the way, Rin, how is the one you brought here doing? Is that one doing fine? Yeah, he survived. His wounds healed up automatically until yesterday, but this wound isn't healing at all. I think Saber's self-healing powers went away when the contract came to an end. But he survived. Fortunately, he didn't get hit in any vital points, so he should be able to get up and eat in about 3 days. He did get stabbed through his fucking chest or something, though. I mean, he's pretty fortunate he didn't get hit in any vital points. That's pretty surprising. No, not that one. I meant the other person. Huh? Oh, Fujimura-sensei? I let her sleep in the guest room. Caster used a sleeping magic on her, but she's still doing really well. I did treat her, so it shouldn't be a problem even if she sleeps for a week. I see, but she might turn into a sleeping beauty with Caster's magic. That woman's spells are more like curses. The simplest way to dispel her is to kill Caster. You know, especially considering the fact that Shiro got stabbed with Excalibur, you wouldn't think he'd be fine after that. I mean, that's a... I don't think you really come back from being hit with Excalibur. Yeah, either way, the Holy Grail War won't last much longer. We're going to beat Caster as fast as possible, and knowing Fujimura-sensei, she might wake up on her own. Archer nods, and after a brief pause in the conversation, beating Caster comes first. Even though there's one less master now, Saber still exists. We do not have time to spare, Rip. I know, we'll have to go out to town immediately. Even Caster should take some time to completely control Saber. If possible, we have to beat Caster before Saber is fully controlled. Alright, so the contract about that kid ends here, huh? Huh? Miyashiro isn't a master anymore, right? Then he will be of no help, and there will be no need to protect him. The second command spell can be lifted off me now, right? What? Don't tell me you'll take care of him because he cooperated with you. Of course not. I'm not that good of a person. I'm not that good a person. They made a huge... well, not a huge typo, but they made a typo there. Then... But it's not over yet. I won't break the promise until he himself says he's out of this war. I'll try to get him out, but we can't end it until he gives up. She declares stubbornly. What can he reply to that? That's my course of action. Do you have any objections, Archer? It cannot be helped. I'm fully aware that you are like that. His voice sounds cynical. Like always? She just laughs it off and makes an order. Let's go, Archer. I don't know why, but Caster isn't back at the Realta temple. Then, let's find her and defeat her before she goes back to the temple. There's no need to answer. The knight in red nods and follows his master. Gloomy clouds are still overhead. A moonless night, she departs with Archer to take aim at her target. Ooh, TV static. It feels like I just got punched. I would think that would feel way worse than you just having been punched, Shiro. I wake up from the pain in my shoulder. My body's still there. I feel my limbs and I hear my own breathing. There's bandage wrapped around my shoulder. There's a bandage, or bandages wrapped around my shoulder. God damn it. Fucking grammatical errors. There's a bandage wrapped around my shoulder, and the bed I'm in is soft. This place is... I don't know. And someone said... This is it. You don't have to fight anymore. I get up. I remember everything and jump up from the bed. Pain causes my back to arch. I feel my left shoulder. It's burning hot. It feels much worse than a pulled muscle. No, I'm lucky that my arm is still attached after a sword went through it, but it still hurts bad. I slowly get out of bed. I can bear this pain if I grit my teeth. Then... the heat in my shoulder reaches my head. I shake it off and move my legs. No one's here. There shouldn't be anyone. I remember Tosuka's words. She said those words and left. So she went to fight by herself. I head to the door. I have to go outside. I have to go find Tosuka. I fall. I almost collapse and support myself using the dresser. It's useless. I fall along with the dresser. Sorry. I made a mess, Tosuka. I pick up the scattered stuff. Huh? I find something familiar. It's a simple pendant made of crystal. I think I saw this before. I saw it somewhere. Yeah, it was like this back then as well. The night I got pierced by Lancer. The fatal wound that was healed before I knew it. There was something I picked up when I left the hallway with a tired body. It's hot. The poison in my shoulder gets to my brain and makes me dizzy. Yeah, this is the same one. I know, but my mind does not think. Like the thing I dismissed as a dream. Like whose servant was fighting Lancer at that time. Like who could have saved me and who could have been there at that time. There's no need to think about it, but my head is spinning. Damn. She talked about owing me and all, but this is something I can never pay back. I feel dizzy. My head's messed up from the pain, heat, and self-deprecation. I move my legs. I have to look for her. I have something I want to tell her, and there's something she needs to know. That's all I can think about with this dizzy head. When my senses return, I'm in front of the station. My hazy head is moving based on a vague image. That she's there. It orders me to go there if I'm to look for her. I don't know why I'm directed here. My boiling head is only thinking about this building. Then I can only follow my instincts. I didn't have any way to look for Tosuka from the start, so I can only cling to this thing. I get to the rooftop. The wind blowing here is even colder and cools down my heated brain. Why are you here? I hear someone gasp. Tosuka's looking down at the town from here, like that one night. Go home. I don't know what you want to do, but you're an eyesore. She expresses her anger and stares at me. Behind her. He is standing there, telling me silently that I'm of no use. I won't go home. When I do, it'll be with you. We promised to fight together, right? I collect my hazy mind and move my lips. Forget about that promise. First of all, what can you do? Without Saber, you're no match for any master. That's... And there's no need for you to fight. You're not a master anymore, so you'll be safe if you run to the church. You just need to stay there and the Holy Grail War will come to an end. I almost faint at her words. It pisses me off. Don't be stupid! I can't leave Saber like that! Look, I said I'll fight, so I'll fight until the very end. My vision turns red. I can't talk. Just yelling makes my muscles cramp up and I almost die. See, you had Saber's help until now, but that's how it is once you don't have her help. Look, Emiya-kun, people normally die when they're... What? I swear they intentionally put that there. People normally die when they're killed. Really now. So your wound should be fatal, you know. Oh my god. That is not just a translation error. They put that there on fucking purpose. Oh my god. I didn't even know that was in this route. I completely forgot about that. Damn. I know that. I know, but it's so painful that I can't speak. And you talk about Saber and all, but it's not a problem of yours. You're not a master anymore, so it shouldn't concern you what happens to Saber. It does concern me. All the more if Saber has helped me with pain like this up until now. No, even if I'm not a master, Saber didn't want it. I can't have her be controlled. I see, but you're powerless. Fine. If you don't want to admit it yourself, I'll tell you. You can't save Saber as you are now. My heat disappears. Her cold words freeze my boiling brain. That's all. You lost Saber and you're not a master anymore. There's no reason for you to be involved in this massacre, so you can forfeit here, Shiro. Tosuka turns and walks off. Stop, Tosuka! But still... Amidst the blowing winds, Tosuka kicks the ground without any hesitation. You idiot! What are you thinking? I reach out frantically. There's no need for that. The knight in red appears next to Tosuka as if protecting her. Even if she jumps off from this height, she should be able to land without a problem if she has her servant. Tosuka's lips move slightly. I can't hear what she said. But her eyes. You'll die if you keep involving yourself. Coldly tell me so as if it's the last warning. My heat returns. The heat and the pain make my mind go crazy. I cannot save Saber, and there's no reason for Emiyashiro to fight. My wound hurts. I look down at the night scenery that swallowed Tosuka and repeat those words in my head. It is a quiet night. The wind blowing on the mountain is gentle, and the rustling of the trees is as quiet as a whisper. There are no birds singing about winter, nor are there beasts howling at the moon. The only path leading to the Ryudo Temple, the long stone steps, preserve its peacefulness tonight as well. But others do not know. This place has withstood 5 battles already. Each was a great clash. Many servants challenged the Ryudo Temple. Berserker, Lancer, Rider, Saber, Archer. This mountain gate is able to enjoy the darkness thanks to the monster that has repelled all 5 enemies. The long sword moves. It is fortunate that the moon is not out. The arc of the sword moving in a crescent moon shape is so beautiful that the moon would be ashamed of itself if it saw it. Are you listening, assassin? I told you that you will continue to guard the gate. He ignores the Magus in purple, Caster. Assassin lowers his longsword and glances at the mountain forest without interest. Well, there was an intruder. I saw a strange bird, so I cut it. But it did not spill blood nor scream. Is this one of yours, Caster? I see. It must have been a familiar spying on us. It must be Berserker's master or that young lady. Either way, this place will not last long. Caster walks to the forest and looks down at the thing on the ground. It is the corpse of an owl. It is a bird made from crystal. It is simple but suited for spying and must have been made by Archer's master. That lady is unlucky. I could have made her my student if she were less talented. She steps on it. The amethyst crystals are crushed to powder, scattering star-like dust. There are people like this, so I leave you in charge to protect my master. I will disappear if my master dies. If that happens, you cannot exist either. I wouldn't be so sure about that. If you do not want to disappear, protect the gate and be prepared even for death. Well, it is hard to be prepared for death. I've never felt that I was alive. Is it not meaningless to ask that of one such as I? Stop your impudent talk. Do not misunderstand, assassin. You are a servant I summoned. A slave should act like a slave. If you cannot swear your loyalty, you can disappear right now. Castor's words are filled with enmity and contempt. For her, assassin is only a tool. It is annoying for a tool to talk, so it is natural for her to get mad when it starts to speak cynically. I see. Good heavens. My life is like a heat haze, but it is problematic if I disappear now. I've made a promise. If I can, I would like to fulfill this promise. Then hold your tongue. You only need to protect this place. If you're able to do so, I can make you real. A low class like you without a noble phantasm can become a heroic spirit, so it should be worth risking your life, right? Do not need to worry. I have belonged to the other world from the beginning. I will act out my role. But is it alright, Castor? I am not loyal to my master, but you are dishonest as well. Tonight's matter is a secret to your master, right? At that instant, Assassin's body explodes. A thumping sound. The curse that was put on his body upon summoning has exploded. The trees sway. Assassin is flung into the forest, his chest pierced from within by his own ribs. His figure is like a bloomed flower. Jeez. You're getting worse every day, Castor. God damn. Somehow you're not dead. Quite. If I have to tell you one more time, I will eliminate you before waiting 5 days. Jeez, they say women and mean people are unmanageable, but you've gone too far. The flashy servant gets up. This servant does not lose his elegance even if he shows his ribs or if his body is covered in blood. Oh, do not glare at me like that. You are wasting your beautiful face, Castor. I know. Everything is to be a secret from your master, right? I will hide the fact that you caught Saber and that I'm guarding this place. It is a moving story. I wish that your caring spirit would reach you. Assassin! You! I'm just being a poor loser. I cannot attack you, so allow me to joke around like that. I would hope so, especially since you blew up his fucking stomach. I will protect the gate. I will protect it no matter what. But where are you going? Do you not trust my protection? Of course not. You are just insurance. But that's an end as well. Once I have control of Saber, I don't have to use this rustic place as my temple. So you will relocate? Then I am certainly not needed. Is there a sacred ground superior to this place? Yes, it is inferior to this place, but there is a place suited for me, and I will be going there in the near future anyways. There's no problem if I go there now, right? Assassin's expression, which had been cool up to now, clouds up. Castor smiles as if she's satisfied. Yes, our victory is certain, so I'm going to go receive the prize ahead of time. A new territory in the Holy Grail. And I also have another piece called Saber. With all this, I'm sure my uninterested master would have no complaints with my policy. That is true. No matter how much Castor's master, Kazuki Soichiro, stays silent, he would be forced to fight if the conditions are set so perfectly. But what is more certain is that the boring war will end. There will be nothing to fear once I attain the Holy Grail. Kinda hesitate to imagine what would happen if she actually got the Holy Grail. Yes, nobody would be able to stop me. Loud laughter pollutes the night. The moccasin purple expresses her victory. The knight with the longsword looks up at the sky. The time is near. No matter what the end may be, only 5 days remain. Even though the remaining time will not likely be used up, the swordsman that has lived through hell feels that the match will not be settled easily. And I fall. I can't even breathe properly. The wound on my shoulder is swelling up, and it hurts just to breathe. I can't keep my consciousness. I'll fall asleep if I let my guard down. No, first of all, I'm not too sure if I'm conscious or not. I don't know how I got home from that rooftop, nor why I came home. My thoughts become vague. The only sure thing is my thumping heart. Tosca told me not to involve myself, because I'm powerless and I don't have a reason to fight anymore. But that's wrong. I knew more than anyone that I'm powerless. My reason to fight is something different. I can't let it become just a scar. Losing against others is inevitable. I'm used to being beat up, and it's vexing, but I know I can't reach them no matter what I do. But that's only when my enemy is someone else. I can't lose against myself. There's no element that would make me lose if our powers are equal. To admit defeat against such an enemy is to declare that I'm wrong. The wound distorts. Blood stains the bandage. I grab it with my left hand and glare at the darkness. The memory from 10 years ago. The words of the man who was my father. Even if I was wrong from the start, there's nothing wrong with the path I took. I wanted to be a superhero so that incident wouldn't just become a sad memory. A time where everyone would be happy and shed no tears. I have held that ideal for 10 years. Then, it doesn't matter how badly my head refuses to function. What needs to be done is determined from the start. I didn't fight because I became a master. I decided to fight because it's something I can do, and I believed it's something I have to do. I finally remember the obvious. Tosca, no matter how much you tell me, if I believe that it is right, I will believe in this path until the very end. I won't stop, and I won't let her fight by herself. That's why I will sleep now. I won't let her call me a burden. I'll heal this wound up in one night, and when I wake up in the morning, I'll catch up to her for sure, and repay her for what she did that night. The stone room is illuminated by the morning sun. The light coming in from the ceiling pushes back the darkness. Every entrance and every window is sealed off, but even that cannot block out the sunlight. Even the place that should be covered in darkness benefits from the break of dawn. Oh, I know what we're about to see here. Oh god. Entrances and windows are ordinarily used to let things enter and leave. The cracks cannot be covered, and besides, if it is entirely closed off, it cannot fulfill its duty to be used as a passage. If one wants to completely shut out the light, there should not be any entrances. If one prefers darkness, one should go to an underground place without a way to return. Deadass. In that regards, this underground temple is not perfect. Light exposes all secrets without reservation. The hidden temple was easily discovered, and its master was easily eliminated as well. There are traces of blood on the floor. The original owner of this temple was killed by an intruder. The supervisor of the Holy Grail War, Kodamine Kyrie, was removed from the stage by Castor's hand. That actually wasn't shown in the visual novel, that's surprising. That battle happened a few hours ago, but we conveniently, we didn't show that. The underground regained its silence. The new master of the church is standing in the darkness, but the winner scorns herself. Castor glares at the darkness with an irritated look. First of all, this temple is unpleasant. Neither the sanctuary nor the secret sanctuary hidden beneath it suit her taste. The intruding light is unpleasant, and the priest she killed was unpleasant as well. And most importantly, the crucial objective has not been accomplished yet. She is shocked at how poorly things are going, and she even considers reducing this whole place to ashes. Even though I captured Saber, things are going, poorly. Okay. Fortunately, she refrains from such violence. It is not because she regained her composure, nor is it because of respect towards the church. She suppressed her emotion only because of this sound. Faint, periodic sounds. A woman's painful voice is like fine music to her. She forgets her troubles and enjoys the spectacle. Oh yeah, you moan in pain like that. The groaning sounds of pain come from a girl. The weak murmur contains heated arousal. The groans would inspire either compassion or sadistic pleasure in those who may hear them. It does not need to be said that she falls under the latter category. Sweat drips down her forehead. Just watching the beautiful lips gasping in shame seems to bring heat to this cold room. You are doing very well, Saber. I would have never expected you to resist the command spell for a whole night. Okay then. So there's that. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. When I first saw this, I was like, whoa. This is going into hentai territory now. At the back of the temple, the girl hangs, only able to moan. As long as she opposes the command spell, free will does not exist for Saber. Worse still, a maga so strong that it is visible tortures Saber's body. The command spell pressures her from the inside and caster's magic tortures her from the outside. The torture is more unbearable than having her body wounded. What I want to know is why the fuck did she dress her up like that? And how was she able to dress her up like that? I mean, you would have to have taken Saber's armor off or, you know, change her clothes into that. I mean, I imagine that's pretty hard to put on. Like, what the fuck? Saber's reasoning has almost disappeared. Only the last remnants of her pride hold her back. You would have had to use a command spell just for her to put that shit on, I would imagine. Neither the command spell nor caster's magic can take away that deep root. Therefore, the torture continues forever. Caster watches the process, how the girl desperately tries to hold her ground. It was Caster that dressed her in this white costume. It is not arousing to watch her armor, and most of all, the armor does not suit her. If she is an untainted virgin, she should be in a pure white dress when she falls. How brave of you. So, when's the tentacle rape gonna happen? No matter how much you resist with your will, that servant body of yours is different. You can tell the command spell is slowly infringing on your mind, right? You will be mine in less than a day. In that case, is it not easier to give up now and become mine? The voice protests painfully. Even though her reasoning is melted, Saber does not yield to Caster. As Caster says, she will endure this torture until the command spell fully controls her body. You are stubborn, Saber, but I shall forgive you. I like girls like you. That golden hair, small body, the boyish, gallant figure, everything is so cute. And I love your loyalty for trying to choose death over betrayal. Really, I want to step on you and crush you. I wouldn't be surprised if Caster is just masturbating to this in the background right now. She looks at the girl with eyes filled with joy and hatred. Probably more with joy. If Caster put her mind to it, she could get Saber to surrender in an instant. Saber's freedom is lost from fighting one command spell. Then, the result is obvious if Caster uses a second command spell. Saber will become Caster's without the need for such torture. But she's a sadist and she wants to torture her. But she will not do such an inelegant thing. Caster should take time training her, since she is a lovely toy. For Caster, Saber is a tool with first-class appearance and ability. It is natural for her to saber this rare jewel. Yes, it is boring to control your body using the command spell. I will have you become my servant out of your own will. Yes, I will destroy your mind before your body. Caster glares with bewitching eyes at the girl in the white dress. She almost forgets about the Holy Grail. She thinks about Saber's white skin and imagines transforming her into a slave that only seeks pleasure. Okay. God, there's so much... First, the thing with Shinji saying he wants to rape Saber, now Caster fantasizing about people raping Saber. What the fuck? She will make the girl into a tainted slave to her lusts. She will not do something crude like taking her virginity. Then what the fuck are you talking about? She is a virgin. Then she should make her into a virgin that drowns in pleasure. Okay. A girl whose body will never be satisfied, greedily seeking pleasure. What? Wouldn't what you're implying doing to her be taking away her virginity in the first place? So that doesn't make any fucking sense. When she imagines it and smiles. What are you doing there, Castor? An unemotional voice suddenly calls her from behind. She turns around immediately. Above the temple, someone slowly comes down from the stairs that lead outside. A tall, lean figure appears from the darkness. There is no sound of footsteps, nor is there any presence to be felt. The man comes down into the temple and shows no emotion even after seeing the blood on the ground and the girl. Soichiro-sama? Castor changes her attitude right away. Her expression changes from one filled with joy and irritation to that of a tense servant. Why are you here? I believe I asked you to stay at the Realta temple. I questioned you first, Castor. I asked what you were doing here. Looks like you're playing the little sex game without me. Why can't I be involved? The man, Kazuki Soichiro, does not change the tone of his voice. The flat voice is more terrifying than any threat. A voice without emotion is like a mirror. A guilty conscience. The voice is more fearful to those with greater guilt. One is questioned not by Kazuki, but by one's own mind. Castor holds her hands on her chest and reports to Kazuki. He is not one that can be fooled. No, she cannot bear to tell a lie to this person. I have taken away a servant last night from one of the masters, Emiyashiro. I let Emiyashiro go, but he is no longer a master. If he is smart, he should not oppose us anymore. I see. But I have not given such an order. I acted arbitrarily, Master. After that, I attacked the church to obtain the vessel of the Holy Grail. I have killed the priest, the caretaker of the Holy Grail, but the Grail's whereabouts are unknown. That was your decision as well, huh? You must have returned because you could not find the Holy Grail. But it is a place you obtained after much trouble. It would be meaningless to abandon it without finding what you were after. Kazuki's words are not criticizing her, but Castor can only be ashamed of herself. She killed the priest who knew where the Holy Grail was, but she still does not have the Holy Grail. Furthermore, she has revealed her own actions which should have been hidden from him. What else can she call it but a total failure? I understand the situation. Can you explain why you did this, Castor? I am sorry, but this is all for you, Master. My goal is to lead you to victory. I have no other reason. A long silence. After hearing Castor's declaration, Kazuki Soichiro murmurs, I see. Then I cannot move away from here. Your troubles will be for nothing if other masters find the Holy Grail while we are absent. Then, Master, you can search this place until you are satisfied. I shall remain here until we are done. You alone are not fit for fighting. You will need a guard until Saber is under your control. Huh? No, there's no need for that. I do not need your help. I do not know how long the search will take. And this place is dangerous. You'll be safer if you return to the Realta temple. That is true, but if I do that, I cannot fulfill my objective. Those words are unexpected even for Castor. What kind of an objective does this man have, who has no interest even in the Holy Grail which can grant any wish? Soichiro-sama, then... Hurry. I do not care if it is not here. Just make sure you come up with a clear result. With that, Kazuki goes back up the stairs. Castor watches him go in blank amazement. The dark room is still silent. The footsteps going up the stairs still cannot be heard. I open my eyes. My eyes are not the only things that wake up, as my sleeping mind wakes up as well. The wound is not a problem. I check the wound on my left shoulder. It still hurts, but there's no intense pain like last night. The heat in my body has gone away somewhat. It shouldn't be a problem for me to move around. I eat breakfast and satisfy my hunger. Food comes before anything else. My body won't move unless it gets the nutrition it needs. Alright. I reapply the bandage. The wound has turned dark blue. It hasn't healed up, and I can see fresh red meat. Of course. Saber's not here. I disinfect it, put gauze over it, and wrap bandages around it. It's a primitive first aid treatment to wrap and constrict the wound, but I have to do this so it won't get any worse. All done. I'll need a weapon now. It's cloudy today. It must be really cold as there is frost on the grass outside. But that's meaningless to me. I feel no cold. My body is burning and I want to pour ice water over myself. But this is much better than the condition I was in last night. The only things I can find are wooden swords. I choose the one that looks like it will be best and put it into my shinai bag. I slap my cheeks. I don't know if it's to encourage myself or to reassure myself that I won't be coming back here. I honestly don't know why I did that. I carry the shinai bag over my right shoulder and head outside. The place I've lived at for so long. The shed was like my own room, but I don't turn to look at it. Well, even though I've decided to fight, there are many problems. I have to determine clearly what I should do first, or I'll probably end up not getting anything done. There are two courses of action. Oh no. Meet up with Tosca or go to the church for advice. Okay, I don't even need to fucking save here. I know what we're gonna do. Meet up with Tosca. Go to the church is a stupid fucking thing to do. I remember I did that when I first did a playthrough of this game, and I got killed by Castor. If you go to the church, instead of trying to find Tosca, you'll get killed by Castor. I'll go find Tosca. She told me to forfeit. If I'm going to ignore her advice and fight, I have to make her realize that I'm not going to give up and that we're still cooperating. And I can't let her fight by herself. I owe her big time. I can't forfeit until I repay her for that. And she always screws up at the crucial moment, and she's so unreliable that I can't let her be alone. I adjust the shinai bag on my shoulder. I know I won't be of much help and that she will object, but I can't obtain peace of mind until I see Tosca's face. This is just a what if, but if she gets injured away from me, I can't even be there to help her. Phew. I sit down on a bench and rest my burning body. It's past noon. I've searched all around Shinto, but I haven't found anything. Damn, I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but I didn't think I would find nothing. I knew from the start that I had no way to find Tosca. I let my luck take over and searched through the town, but I couldn't find her, nor any traces of her. The other masters aren't coming out either. I guess there's no need to attack me now that I don't have my command spell. I sigh and lay back. I'm making no progress like this. Tosca hasn't left any trace, and my last resort of using myself as bait to lure out other masters is failing so far. I get a bit uneasy. I might not be able to find Tosca, and I might not be able to save Saber. They might already be in a terrible situation by the time I find them. It's still noon. I won't let that happen so easily. I get back up. I ignore the renewed throbbing in my shoulder and leave the park. I'll search one more time. I'm sure that she's in Shinto. It's just like last night. I don't know why, but I can feel that he is around here. It's not something ambiguous like a premonition. That is a certain knowledge, like a conviction. God damn, there's another interlude. There's so many interludes in this. When did I figure out what the dream was? A desert as far as I can see. The numerous swords stuck in the ground do not have a wielder. The sky is stormy and there is no forest, town, or sea within my sight. A hill of blades stretching to infinity. A graveyard of steel without any wielder or bearer. I knew from the start that this is the scenery inside that hero's mind. After many sequences of events, one who becomes a heroic spirit ends up in that place. There are those who left the world loved by people, and there are those who left the world praised as noble kings. There are those who died wanting to fight, and there are those who died in satisfaction. But it seems there are many that have been praised as heroes against their will. If true heroes are those who have legitimately earned the title, these are a different kind. They were forced to the throne of heroes because of their fate, and they should be called Avenger, the anti-hero. They are the opposite of heroes, but they were praised as heroes regardless. Even those that hated humans and those that the humans hated are summoned as guardians. But he's neither. He's not a true hero, nor a rare anti-hero. He was never compensated for his efforts, and his own life ended with betrayal, but he never hated humans. But it didn't last. Yes, he probably grew weary. I was mistaken. Heroic spirits, familiars called servants. Humanity's power to control called the guardians. They are summoned into every age to prevent humanity's extinction, but the only condition for their summoning is the destruction brought on by humans. Naturally, destruction brought on by an outside factor is solved not by human power, but by the world's restraining power. So the only thing guardian heroic spirits can see is self-destruction. They are an existence that eliminate destruction brought on by human greed. He made a contract with the world to save humans and become a hero. After he died, he became a heroic spirit and was showed humanity's self-destruction over and over again. He is summoned as a heroic spirit to save people, but he only gets to clean up after people's wrongdoings. It did not take long for him to realize that it is meaningless and to start loathing the human world. And in the end, he was betrayed by the ideal that he protected unto death. Rin, do you feel dizzy? Huh? Hearing the call, Tosca Rin wakes up. She slowly looks around. This is the foreigner's cemetery. It's just past 7 o'clock, but there is no one here. Well, the hill with the church is always empty to start with. Sorry, I fell asleep. I guess I'm tired. That is understandable. You have not slept since last night. Should we postpone this if you are not feeling well? We do not have to go get them right at this moment. No, we can't take our time. Since we know where Castor is, we should settle this right now. After saying so, Rin realizes that her body is warm. Her familiar, Archer, must have kept her warm using his cloak. Huh, you knew I was asleep, huh? And you didn't wake me up? Well, it's rare to see someone sleeping while they are standing. I was fascinated, so I had to observe it. That's even worse. Who are you to be staring at a girl's sleeping face? Don't worry, I've done nothing so rude. But I did hear something else. I can close my eyes, but I cannot close my ears. I see. What was I saying, Archer? I heard a few scary phrases, like how you're so angry. Oh, that's good. Rin sighs with relief. The dream she saw should not be discussed. She can't have Archer know about it. She likes their relationship. To maintain it, she has to hide the fact that she knows about Archer's past. Let's go, Archer. I know a bit about the church. I can guess where she might be hiding. She brushes away Archer's cloak. Archer silently protects her from behind. Then... Hey, Archer, have you ever regretted your own actions? She asks without turning around. I don't want to if I can help it. I want to grit my teeth and be stubborn, even when I'm completely beaten. But I'm sure that's hard. Harder than I imagined, I suppose. That would depend on the person. There are those who can and those who cannot do so. You are the former. Such people will not make mistakes, let alone consider them. Hey, that sounds like I'm an arrogant tyrant. Maybe because you kind of are. That is a good observation, Rin. A brilliant person shines brighter than others. Such people never have to grit their teeth. So, this is a personal opinion, but you would fall under that category. Tosca Rin will follow her path until the very end. The knight in the red cloak praises her. Rin blushes at his answer, but keeps asking without turning around. Then what about you? Do you think you would be able to believe in yourself until the very end? I'm sorry, but that question is meaningless. Why? It's something you're able to answer, right? She sounds a bit nervous. To that. The until the very end part is meaningless. Did you forget, Master? I met my end a long time ago. The Knight in Red gives this reply.